Hey everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we are visiting the very famous Teotihuacan here in Mexico.
Very recently I visited Teotihuacan in Mexico, where I made some very interesting discoveries that led to me writing a scientific research article. Today's subject is the Quetzalcoatl temple in Teotihuacan, and more precise the figures on it of Quetzalcoatl. I want to warn you about today's episode that will be different from anything you have heard before. And I warn you that when you see what I see, it cannot be unseen. So hang on till the end if you are curious. We will explore a different and new view on history that might make your history teacher go crazy. The figures have been occupying my mind a lot since I visited the place, because for me there is something about the conventional story of the buildings on the place and the figures that doesn't fit with what I see. And actually seen in the light of the bigger picture, I got confirmed in my theory. I would venture to say that the world has been misled into not looking objectively at these two figures, but has blindly accepted the Aztecs' interpretation of them. The two figures can have a completely different meaning than we have believed until now, since the Aztecs decided that the figures were Tlaloc and Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. We don't know what these figures originally were called, and to make it less confusing, we will keep calling them by the Aztec-made Nahuatl name in this video, as I also did in my article that has been linked below in the description. The Aztecs found Teotihuacan after it had been abandoned by the original Teotihuacaners population minimum 500 years earlier. And they understood the figures as they did because they already had some preconceived religious ideas.
Look at this, how amazing figures and everything. It's beautiful. So impressive. So this is the temple of Quetzalcoatl, but I also see that Tlaloc also have some figures here.
It will be explained in the following why Quetzalcoatl should be seen as a lion head on a snake's body, and not a feathered serpent. My theory about Quetzalcoatl is based on three factors. One is what my eyes can see, the other is the history of the whole world and ancient memories from Mesoamerica's indigenous population, all combined in this theory. And now to how my eyes see Quetzalcoatl on the Quetzalcoatl pyramid in Teotihuacan. My observation is that Quetzalcoatl's head has nothing in common with a snake's. It has completely the lion's face, lion's predator teeth, a lion's nose, a white cat nose with cat nostril and shape, the eyes pointing forward as a lion's eye area, round ears, and a big amount of sculptural hairs around the head that has been confused with feathers and corn leaf. The structure on the forehead is pointed more as an attempt to create fur structure than scales of a snake. There is nothing in his face that has snake features. But he is pictured with a snake's tail. This tail could have been added later, like the shells on the wall, maybe added by the Aztecs, that looks like they doesn't belong there. Or the snake body could also be a symptom of what so many things seems to get snake features in ancient Mesoamerican artwork. Here on this picture you see Quetzalcoatl compared with a real picture of a lion, the two faces in the same angle. Here you can see the comparison between Quetzalcoatl's face and two other lion sculptures from other places in the world. You can see there's not a big difference between how the other artists have done the job, making a lion with a furry mane around the head, teeth and nose. On the next picture here you see the teeth of Quetzalcoatl, compared with a real lion's teeth. As I see it, they have nothing in common with a snake's teeth. I don't know about you, but let me know in the comments. I also see the structures in his face more as fur structure on a sculpture than snake scales. A lion head on a snake's body seems rare, and is of course a mythological creature. But it seems like many Mesoamerican gods were mixed up with snake features or became so. Quetzalcoatl could therefore have been purely feline in his original form. And so let's play with the idea of a lion god in the land that is now called Mexico. One could think it is rare to find a lion's head in Mexico where there are no lions, but it seems that a lion god appears in tales in almost all religions all over the world. So why not in Mexico? And Quetzalcoatl has before been compared and even identified with the main god of the Teotihuacan civilization in Bolivia named Viracocha, both being cultural heroes giving great gifts to mankind, containing a variety of personal teachings of wisdom and morals and practical advancement in technology. Also the universal themes of a great flood and the danger from gigantic and horrific giants were there. According to the Inca beliefs, the god Viracocha made a race of giants from stones. Afterwards he became displeased with them and he turned some giants into stone and destroyed the rest in a flood. Viracocha from Bolivia is shown as a man with a lion's mane around his head. They also did not have lions in Bolivia, but this god clearly has the features of one, having also a cat-like creatures symbolized on the edges of his mane. This led me to the exploration of other gods from all over the world with this theme in their myth. Mentioning Viracocha, I also have to mention Kukulkan as well. Kukulkan is the Mayan version of the Aztec Quetzalcoatl. Mayan culture is older than that of the Aztecs, and the memory of the god no doubt highly influenced by the cult performed in Teotihuacan. The god Ipec from the old Peruvian Moche-culture is another example of the leonine hero in pre-Columbian religion. And this figure, just look at it and tell me, doesn't it look like a lion? The Moche-culture in Peru existed about 100 to 800 AD. Here you see a lion-like man with a decapitated head of an enemy that very well could be a giant. Here we see examples of gods from other parts of the world that shows themselves as lions in local religions, often involved in killing the universally present giants. The Hindu god Narasimha as a human torso and lower body with a lion's face. Narasimha is killing the giant called, I don't know if I can say it, Hiranyakashipu. The Egyptian god Horus as a lion. Here is a text from the legend of Horus the Behoided and the Winged Disc by André Dollinger. And Hero Behoided transformed himself into a lion, which had the face of a man, and which was crowned with the triple crown. His paw was like unto a flint knife, and he went round and round by the side of them, and brought back 142 of the enemy giants he means. And he rent them in pieces with his claws. That is from Egypt. And here's another one from Egypt. The Sphinx from Egypt is a lion with a human face. The Iranian god Mitra, as his Greco-Roman version Mithras Ion, a lion-headed man with a snake as a symbol of the spiritual supernatural. In Greek mythology, Dionysus, the god of wine and festivity, was sometimes depicted riding a lion or driving a cart drawn by lions. He was also able to transform himself into a lion, as it does in the Homeric hymn to Dionysus, where he is kidnapped by pirates seeking to hold him for ransom. His nickname amongst the Greek worshippers was Bromios, meaning the roarer. A fighter too of giants, Dionysus slew one called Eurytos. In Greek mythology, Hercules, a son of Zeus like Dionysus, is often depicted wearing the skin of the Nemean lion to symbolize his strength and victory in hunting. Also he fought giants and other demonic creatures. The giant Antaetos he crushed by lifting and grasping him, and the three-headed Geryon he killed to get his cattle. The Titan Atlas, brother of the rebel Prometheus, Hercules turned into stone in order to make him carry the heavens. Ninurta is a Mesopotamian god who originated in Sumeria. He was worshipped by the ancient Sumerians and Akkadians. In Babylonian art, Ninurta is depicted running or standing like a lion beast, a human head on a feline body with wings. In the Bible, Jesus is referred to as the Lion of Judah, which symbolizes his role as both a divine figure and king of the Jews. The feline symbolism as God as found in the Old Testament. They shall walk after the Lord, he will roar like a lion. When he roars, then his son shall come trampling from the west. God Thor from Nordic mythology is not associated with a lion, but he must be mentioned here, because he is the terror of the giants and the friend of mankind. Thor is a member of the god family and the most powerful and popular warrior from their group. He is often depicted with a larger red beard and a hammer. The sleeping giant Udgårdsloke, a main village in the Nordic mythology. After this examination of other gods all over the world, we see that so many mythologies and religions have some similarities. So even we cannot explain why Quetzalcoatl in Teotihuacan has a lion's face, we can see that he has one, as other gods do. At the same time, there is a lot about Teotihuacan we also can't explain, and it remains a mystery till this day. But old indigenous tales from what we today know as Mexico also tell stories about giants. For example, the one about Cholula. Watch my video about Cholula from the central Mexico. It is definitely a megalithic structure and could very well, in my opinion, have been built by giants, as the indigenous tales said it was. But what is so mysterious about Teotihuacan is that there is parts of this Quetzalcoatl pyramid that is built with great perfectionism. A perfectionism that is not possible to make from Stone Age tools. But before the Spaniards arrived to Mesoamerica in 1519, the indigenous of the land that is now Mexico were a Stone Age culture with tools of stone and obsidian glass.
Inside the pyramid they're selling this kind of obsidian, this stone. This is a volcanic stone that the people that lived here, they had this and they used it for cutting, they used it for everything and also for the sacrifices when they were like killing people. But this is a very classic thing and see how beautiful it is. Muchas gracias. The name of Teotihuacan and the pyramids comes from the Aztecs. They were the ones that discovered Teotihuacan as an abandoned city and used it as a sacred place. They named it Teotihuacan, meaning the birthplace of the gods, or the place where time began. They also named the pyramids, so what the original names were no one knows. And when the Aztecs were asked who built the pyramids, they said Kinametsins. The Kinametsins were prehistoric mythologic giants. Or could they have been built by people like these from Peru, somewhat with bigger brains than humans and better technology? When you look at these pyramid structures, it looks very unlikely that they can be built with Stone Age tools. In the foreground here we see some square carved stones that looks as if they were cut by a machine. This style of construction is not possible with Stone Age tools. Behind we see another style of construction with naturally shaped pieces of stones bound together with mortar. This style of construction is possible with Stone Age tools. Here we see the giant megalithic statue that was buried next to the Pyramid of the Moon in Teotihuacan. The Aztecs called the statue Chalchiliche and believe it was a fertility goddess. I think it is more likely that it is a statue of the founder's king or something similar. This figure is another mystery of Teotihuacan and is so large and heavy that it had to be moved with a crane and a truck when the archaeologist was moving it to the Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City. To me it looks like it is made of some kind of cement or concrete, as I do not see any natural stone structures, but a uniform grey mass. I think it's very unlikely that this figure was made with Stone Age tools and was handled by the people that didn't have cranes and trucks. A little south of Teotihuacan, but still east of Mexico City, a similar discovery was made of a monolith that archaeologists claim is the Aztec rain god Tlaloc. I do not think it's Tlaloc, but more a leader or a king. This figure is so large and impossible to handle for humans that it will be impossible for ordinary people to move it without cranes and trucks. I also think that this figure is made of cement or concrete and is a remain of the people that had a better technology than the Stone Age people of Mesoamerica had, very possibly an earlier population.
Teotihuacan was probably founded by a culture much earlier in time with better technology than the known Mesoamerican Stone Age cultures, which are not known to today's archaeologists. The same applies to the Quetzalcoatl pyramid, which also consists of these very different building styles. What we see on the Quetzalcoatl pyramid and also on other places in Teotihuacan is the building style that they call Toltec. But the Toltecs were also a Stone Age culture, and my theory is that they were very good at engraving in very large, perfect cut stone blocks. But these blocks were already there when they moved in the first place. It was not them who made them, only the art on the surface. In this case of the Quetzalcoatl pyramid, we see a perfectionism that is not possible to make with the Stone Age tools that the indigenous people of the area were said to have. So the archaeologists is not explaining us how they actually made these buildings and are they really built by the people that they said has built it. So what do you think? Do you also now think that Quetzalcoatl has a lion's face and a snake's body? Let me know in the comments below. In my next video I will analyze Tlaloc, which I also have my own theory about. Thank you so much for watching. It was as always a pleasure. Like and subscribe to my channel to never miss out on